Dr. Jekyll,
and Mr. Hyde.
Act 1, Scene 1.
The drawing room in the home of Gabriel John Edison, Esquire.
A nicely appointed room with 3 chairs and a door.
It's preposterous, Henry.
Hasty, you're a man of science. You know how irresponsible it is to dismiss any scientific possibility so absolutely. Have you even read my papers?
The London Journal of Biology, March 6, 1888. The Dual Natures of Man, by Dr. Henry Jekyll, M.D., Ph.D.
I have read it, Henry, and you're the one who's being irresponsible.
Unlock your brain for a moment. Are you truly the same Dr. Lanyon we see before us today?
Yes.
Nonsense.
From the Personal Journal of Henry Jekyll, July 21st, 1885, 3:23 a.m. I woke a moment ago with a strange, vaguely Hegelian idea. A man's life, the romantic view, is seen as a series of emotional and physical changes. These changes, the unromantic view, are seen as a series of chemical reactions within the body. By manipulating the chemical reactions in the body, it may be possible to alter man's physical and emotional state. Would this mean inherently altering the course of a man's life? Something to mull over in the morning.
When you've had too much brandy or become enraged over some matter, are you truly the same Dr. Lanyon we see today?
I do not drink brandy in moderately, nor do I succumb to rage. Though even if I did, I would hardly say that I was becoming another man, but that another side of me was coming to the fore.
There you go. You've argued my point. Within every person, there's a second person bursting to become free.
But I didn't say that.
April 5th, 1886. I am convinced it is true. All men are really 2 men, or perhaps 3, 4, or 10,000. And if chemistry is truly the key to all things human, then there's a chemical way of unlocking that second man inside.
Hasty, let us look at your life as if it were a series of choices. Shall I study law or shall I study medicine? Will I devote myself to my work or will I marry? Will I take this pocket watch or will I pay for it? Will I allow this rude fellow at the pub to insult me or will I smash his face in with my fist? Within you, there was somebody who took the watch and who smited the man at the pub.
But Henry, that's not science.
Hasty, think about if we could set this man free. You and I could bring a physical manifestation to the soul within.
June 12th, 1885. I have isolated the chemicals that, I am sure, will ignite the body's furnace to initiate a physical transformation to give the inner soul a form. I do not know yet the precise chemicals, and tremble at the thought of experimenting on a living thing. Is it a greater sin to try or not to try?
Now, Harry, if you give a physical manifestation to man's evil nature, won't that creature be pure evil then? Gabriel, surely you're not about to support this preposterous theory.
Theory?
September 16, 1887. Failure. No combination has worked on any of my test subjects. My laboratory is now littered with dead and deformed rabbits.
Gabriel, you have an interesting point. Would this creature be pure evil? Perhaps. But think about what the good side could accomplish, freed from this evil side, as you put it.
Well, Henry, theoretical assertions are all well and good. But in this article of yours, actually listing certain chemicals that could be used to bring about a physical transformation. You all but say you could inject the Prime Minister with this magic formula and turn him into Attila the Hun. You, sir, have crossed the line into heresy, into witchcraft.
November 8th, 1887. Success. I now have, locked in a small cage where he may do no harm to himself or others, a small white mouse, which has been transformed into a tiny rodent demon that once dwelt within. I, Henry Jekyll, devil, new god, modern Prometheus, I cannot help but laugh from the exhilaration.
Hasty, this article was my way of showing my colleagues, my friends, the public, my work, and what I believe to be the future of transcendental medicine.
Transcendental medicine.
If all men of science were like you, Hasty, we'd still be dwelling in caves, marveling at the big balls of fire in the sky.
December 20th, 1887. I can do no wrong, it seems. My every experiment succeeds. I now have a veritable menagerie of animals, which I can transform from their normal state into one of unbridled strength, fury, and energy. But the question remains, will it work on humans? And is that even a question I dare to ask?
You know full well what happens when you combine potassium and sulfur and hydrogen. Well, we mustn't go into the specifics in front of our friend Gabriel here. The three of us hardly ever get together. And here you and I are, boring our legal-minded friend to death.
Nonsense, Harry. I found this all rather fascinating. Please don't think me completely devoid of scientific knowledge. I could never invent a formula, as you have.
I didn't say I invented a formula, but
January 8th, 1888. I write this entry with my right hand at 11:02 p.m. 11:39 p.m. The effects of the half dosage have nearly faded, and I am more or less back to normal. Momentarily, I was no longer Henry Jekyll, I believe. I could barely rise to glance at myself in the looking glass. The pain was so great, but the effects are inarguable. Do I dare a full dosage?
But I could always follow a recipe.
well, perhaps we'd all be better off as chefs.
Speaking of the evil side, my nephew, Richard Enfield, should be joining us this evening.
Evil side indeed. I do love young Enfield.
Oh, I love him like a son, Harry. You know that.
Now he's someone who's truly let the promptings of his inner nature tell him what to do. Something we all might take to heart.
What do you mean by that?
Look at us. Hair's graying, eyesight fading. We used to call ourselves the Three Musketeers, but what right had we? When did we ever duel for a maiden's honor or fight for justice? When did we ever do anything more exciting than lace up our boots in the morning? Though that may be more enjoyable for some than others.
Whatever's gotten into you this evening, Henry? No, Hasty. He has a point. We've all three reached that age where we wonder, what might have been? What if we let the evil side rule us every once in a while?
Exactly.
But Henry, we are, after all happy with our choices, are we not? Aren't we all successful?
In the most pedestrian way imaginable, I suppose. I mean, never has one house been a home to three more respectable pillars of society, 2 doctors and a lawyer. But isn't that the least bit distressing to you?
Now I remember why the three of us don't come together more often. I'm quite content with the mystery of my life coming from the tomes of Poe and Doyle that reside on my bookshelf, Harry.
Not an ally to be found. Not amongst my 2 oldest friends. Perhaps when Enfield arrives, he will understand.
I'm afraid he might not agree with you either, Harry. It's been a while since you've last seen Richard. He's taken up the study of law himself. The reason for tonight's visit is that I may be his fiancée.
Enfield's getting married.
Yes. Helen O'Neill is the girl's name, I believe.
Irish?
American, actually. Richard met her on his most recent adventure. It seemed soon to go sow his last 2 wild oats and came back with a bride.
All set to lock up his evil side in a band of gold and wash away his youthful sins in a bath of rice.
How you do straight towards melodrama.
Mr. Richard Enfield here to see you, sir.
Oh, he's a bit early. Show him in.
Oh, Uncle, I didn't know the whole crew would be here. Helen, this is my uncle, Gabriel John Utterson, and a few of his friends, Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Lanyon. Gentlemen, this is my fiancée, Helen O'Neill.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Hello, my dear.
Is this the face that launched 1,000 ships?
And burned the topless towers of Ilium. Sweet
Helen, make me immortal with a kiss.
My, Uncle, you don't suppose Dr. Jekyll has intentions towards my fiancée, do you?
No, of course not. You know your Marla.
Well, Dr. Jekyll, when your name is Helen, you hear that fairly often.
I imagine you do.
And Dr. Jekyll is a name you hear fairly often, too.
You've heard of me.
Oh, I'm a great admirer of yours. I read every paper of yours I could find when I was at school.
Americans send their women off to school, if you can believe that.
Surely they don't teach you theoretical biology.
No, that I had to pick up on my own, but I always found your work fascinating.
You are flattering.
We must spend some time together, Doctor. I would love to discuss some of your theories, though I am quite the amateur.
Yes, we must.
Oh great, now my fiance wants to spend all her free time down in Dr. Jekyll's musty old laboratory.
Oh, hardly, Richard. You know I'm all yours.
I'd say I've done quite well for myself. Eh, Uncle?
I would say you have. You haven't developed a limp, though, have you?
Oh, this? No, it's an affectation. I came across in Africa. Thought it might make me look more dignified. Surprisingly, it did. Then I thought I'd need a beautiful woman to go along with it, and sure enough, I found one.
Well, at a certain point, she is awfully beautiful.
Better than that Enfield dessert.
What's going on?
Were you coveting another man's wife, Dr. Jekyll?
Or just wondering what might have been
You had ever been in love?
in runs.
I will take no more of this.
I will take no more of this.
Come, Dr. Jekyll. You're only human.
You have an evil side as well.
But what is this in your pocket?
There was this young lady limping on the street. She twisted her ankle, and I helped mend it.
Well, the address on this card is, it's just a part of town. Gentlemen like yourself just don't do it.
Well, I assure you, I do not frequent that kind of establishment. I was just simply going to pop in, say hello, and see how the young girl's ankle was doing.
Quite the angel of mercy.
I remember this girl. She was very pretty.
Not quite as pretty as that Helen O'Neill.
I don't know what you're trying to insinuate, but
And if I remember correctly, you didn't tell me your name was Dr. Jekyll.
well, no, I felt no need for her spreading my name around to all her colleagues.
And so you told her your name was Mr. Hyde.
Well, yes, I was near Hyde Park, and it just came to me.
Oh, well, why don't you go check in on her?
I'm sure she'll be very grateful. You've already decided to go.
And you needn't do anything you don't want to.
An establishment, as Dr. Jekyll called it.
The next day,
A dingy front room, stained wallpaper, filthy floor,
a bar,
and a door. Hello, Fred. Not every day we see a gentleman like yourself around here.
I'm looking for a young lady.
Well, you're in luck, Professor. We've got plenty of those.
Ivy was her name.
Ivy. Popular choice. I'll tell you what, I'll let you see her if you can answer me a riddle.
What?
That's the way it starts, Professor. What's got two faces that are identical, but as different as night and day?
What?
Sorry, Professor. No answer, no Ivy.
What?
What? Don't worry, Professor. I was just funning with her. She's with a client, but she'll be out in a moment. Perhaps you'd like to relax and hang around.
So, Mr. Enfield, now that you're getting married, does that mean I'll never see you again?
Ivy, has the sun stopped shining because they invented electric lights?
Enfield.
Good day, Doctor.
Why, it's Mr. Hyde!
Ivy.
Ankle's all better, Mr. Hyde. See?
Is
Yes.
that all you wanted to see her about then, sir?
Yes, of course.
Oh, are you sure, Mr. Hyde?
I'm quite sure.
Okay.
Mr. Hyde, is it as in hide and seek?
I borrowed the name from a friend. Enfield, I'm shocked to see you here.
Well, I'm not married quite yet, Doctor.
Yes, but Miss Helen, she's
Helen is wonderful, of course, but we won't be married until June, and a fellow's got certain requirements.
Yes, but I heard what you said to that young lady.
You're scarcely in a position to criticize me. We merely have to be gentlemen about this. No one needs to know either of us were here.
Infield, I
Say, friend, you wouldn't happen to be able to get Mr. Hyde here into Sybil's room, would you?
Sybil's room, eh? Well, Sybil don't just go for every Tom, Dick, and Harry, you know. But the professor might be her type, and he looks like he can pay. I'll tell you what, I'll give Sybil a shout.
Infield.
You're gonna thank me for this. From what I hear, a night in Sybil's room is, well, I prefer mine with less window dressing. But those who've been to Sybil's chambers, the things they say.
Infield,
Right, not another word. Gentlemen, silence.
You're in luck, Professor. Sybil's available. Well, you going in, Mr. Hyde?
Yes. Yes, I will.
Dr. Jekyll, I'm shocked.
Oh, come. He just wants to have a little fun. Why should Enfield get to have a
You know
little
that Enfield, he is such a cad. He has that beautiful Helen, and then he comes, well, here.
to Sybil's room.
Cleaner than the others, pleasant in its way,
A bed,
a chair,
a door to an inner chamber.
and a door to the hall.
Miss Sybil.
Yes, I'm Sybil, Mr.
Hyde. Edward Hyde.
Very well, Mr. Edward Hyde. You look like the sort who likes to talk things out a bit first.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about yourself? What do you do?
I'm a musketeer.
A what?
A big game hunter, yes. In my youth, yes. I traveled all over the world.
Sailed around the world in search of adventure?
Yes. To Patagonia, South America, Africa.
Africa. I've always loved Africa.
Have you been?
No, not much chance for travel in my line of work. But I did. Did you see many wild animals while you were in Africa?
Oh, lots of them. Big ones, small ones. I shot a lion with my bare hands.
That's some trick.
You know what I mean.
Did you ever see a zebra?
No, why?
I always liked the zebra. Such a beautiful idea. The black stripes and the white stripes. The two colors, they're opposites, right? But there they are together on one animal. I suppose some other animals have that too. Cows. But cows are either white cows with some black or black cows with some white. With a zebra, you can't tell if it's a white horse with black stripes or a black horse with white stripes. It's all blended up, you know?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So what are you? A black horse or a white horse?
I don't seem to follow the... I'm a black horse.
Are you?
Yes, ma'am. I have done my share of black deeds here and there, and here and there, and here.
You sound very dangerous.
Very.
I like dangerous.
So you're not afraid of anything?
Haven't been for a very long time, Mr. Hyde. You can't last very long out here if you let things make you afraid.
All right, let's just...
All right, why don't you come down here and off? Pardon me, sir.
That cough, that doesn't sound very good.
Just a touch of a cold. I take care of myself.
Apparently not well enough. Here.
Why, Mr. Hyde?
Just breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. You have bronchitis.
What?
You definitely shouldn't be doing this. You need lots of rest. On clean sheets, okay? Drink lots of fluids. Milk, water, tea, no beer. You should do well in a few days.
You aren't really a big game hunter, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm primarily a biologist, but I do know medicine, so.
Your name's not really Hyde, is it?
No, it's not. Henry Jekyll.
My. You're the famous Dr. Jekyll, aren't you? You're always in the papers, working to cure this and discovering that. What in heaven's name are you doing here? Not the sort of place I expect you to be.
No, this isn't the sort of place for Henry Jekyll. No, he doesn't do this kind of thing. His pleasures, whatever they may be, come from the mind and not the flesh.
I didn't mean it like that, Doctor. Why don't you come back in bed? I can start resting tomorrow.
No. It was foolish of me to think I could come here and escape my problems. Here. Good day.
Poor Dr. Jekyll.
Victim of his own blessed goodness.
Bring me the chemicals.
Surely you don't mean that.
Yes, bring them to me. Ugh.
The laboratory of Dr. Jekyll, 3 days later.
A back room in the house of Henry Jekyll where the servants are never permitted to go.
Shelf after shelf of scholarly books, chemicals, tools of the trade,
Lightning.
thunder,
A door to the rest of the house.
and another door to the streets.
It's done.
That serum is.
Yes,
Are you sure?
quite sure of it. One injection and the transformation will be complete.
And another will turn you back.
Yes.
But is it really wise to take that?
Of course it is. Dr. Jekyll can never go see Sybil again. But maybe this Edward Hyde fellow could.
To Edward Hyde, may he be everything I am not.
Edward Hyde, I assume?
That's right! That's right, that's right, that's right!
Must be nice to be out.
It is! It is! Quickly, my coat!
Here. But you can't come bursting out of the laboratory like that. What do you think the servants are going to say?
You're right. The back door.
establishment,
As before, a bar
and a door.
Good evening, friend.
Hello. Do I know you?
I'm Edward Hyde. I've come to see Sybil.
You're not Edward Hyde. Edward Hyde was here, what, 3-4 days ago?
I am Edward Hyde. And I will be seeing Sybil now!
I'll let you.
Oh, you will take me to see Sybil right now!
But,
What's this?
this gentleman here to see you?
Edward Hyde.
Yeah, and I'm Queen Vicky herself.
No, you are far more worthy of a crown.
Thank you, Sam.
But,
That's
Sybil,
all. It's all right, Sam.
You are as beautiful as...
Flattered. We'll only get you so far, Mr. Hyde. But we can't have you doing that to poor Sam. We don't put up with that sort of rubbish around here. We have rules.
I don't follow rules.
Around here, you will. No, I'd say I've got a soft spot for the misfit type. And I'd say you're that. But even they have to behave themselves or it's out the door from...
Oh, and who will kick me out? You?
Ha! Yeah, I will. I've dealt with your sort before, and I'm still here. This is my place, and I say what goes. Understand?
Fine. I'll play by your little rules.
Then we can get along. But Lord, you're an ugly fellow.
Do I frighten you?
No, I've seen worse. Something about your eyes, though. I've heard a bit about you from your friend, Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll's no friend of mine.
No, I don't suppose he is. I don't quite see how a man like you and a man like him.
He's a tiny little mouse in a waistcoat.
Funny. He spoke highly of you. In a way.
Did he?
Well, I didn't think it was all that funny. Shall we go someplace more private?
We shall.
Through this door.
Again, the laboratory of Henry Jekyll, several hours later.
A door to the house and a door to the street.
Dr. Jekyll! Dr. Jekyll!
Mr. Hyde! Mr. Hyde, wake up! It's morning! Pool stocking!
Oh,
Dr. Jekyll!
Cool, 1 second.
Hey, Dr. Jekyll, your hair!
Oh, cool. I'm terribly sorry. I've been working all night and I must have fallen asleep.
I thought just as much, sir. There's a young lady here to see you. Shall I send her away?
Her?
Yes, a Miss Helen O'Neill.
No, send her in. Yes.
Dr. Jekyll,
What do I owe this pleasant visit?
well, it's a medical question. I know you don't really practice medicine anymore.
Well, I can always make exceptions.
Seeing as we're practically family, you might as well be my Uncle Harry.
Yes. So where are you feeling ill?
Well, it's not so much as... Look. What do you think?
I think that's a lovely neck.
No, don't you see the strange little mark?
Oh, just a blemish or something.
Well, that's what everyone says, but it won't go away. It's been there for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And what's particularly strange is it's been there since Well, my sister died 11 months ago. She was my twin sister, and of course we were really close.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
And, well, the day after she died, this mark appeared, and it won't go away.
Well, I don't think that...
Oh, don't think I'm terribly naive, Doctor. I don't think it's the spirit of my sister haunting me somehow.
That might not be too terribly far off. It is my firm belief that our emotional and physical states of being are intimately intertwined. A change in one affects the other. Your grief may have come about in a physical way, in the form of a blemish.
Oh, like your Cain and Abel article about the dual nature of man.
Yes.
That article was so fascinating. Could those chemicals really bring about a physical transformation?
Anything is possible.
But you suggested such a large amount of potassium. Wouldn't that be lethal?
Oh yes, that amount of potassium would stop a man's heart in seconds. The article was supposed to read 3 parts per 100, not 30. I took it to my editor rather cast. He assured me no one would notice, and no one has until today.
It just seems so obvious.
Yes.
I can't stop thinking about that article, though. Something like that is of particular interest to a twin. All my life I felt as if the other side of me was in the next bassinet or at the next desk at school, you know? And after my sister died, well, you can imagine. That's why meeting Richard was so wonderful. The moment I saw him, I knew he'd be the part of me I felt I'd lost.
Helen, I think that may be...
Richard. Now there's someone with 2 natures warring against each other. He's a sort of wild man, I know. I love that about him. But he's really trying to let those days go and be a good husband. It's as if the normal side and the wild side have been fighting his whole life, and the normal side finally won. It's just like your article.
Exactly like it.
I didn't know if I could trust him at first, if he could really change, but then I read your article and it restored my faith. If Henry Jekyll, the famous scientist, thinks people have more than one side, and a side that's buried can be brought out, then maybe I'm right. If Richard wants to change, and I really think he does, he'll be the honest, faithful husband I know is hidden deep inside.
Miss O'Neill.
This sounds naive, I know. You probably think I'm a stupid, ignorant, yankee child.
No. Not at all. But, Miss O'Neill, I am terribly busy and in the middle of something, so...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We'll have to continue this later.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Jekyll.
You're very welcome.
I suppose I better button up. What would people think? Thank you, and goodbye, Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll, no! I mean, experimentation is one thing, but you've had your adventure and
That
you're done.
Enfield. I say, I don't know how you can stand.
Shut up!
Doesn't he just make you angry?
No, Dr. Jekyll
Furious?
doesn't get furious.
Shut up!
All the
Both of
same,
you
if
just
I was
quiet!
in your place.
Time passes.
Sybil's room. Again.
The bed,
A chair.
a door,
And a door.
A penny for your thoughts.
That's more than they're worth right now. It's that bloody Enfield.
Ugh, you're not thinking of him again, are you? You've been here every day for a fortnight, and he's all you can think about, it seems. What is it about him?
That's my business.
That's what you always say. Of course, I know that Enfield hardly suits the type one would hate. Nice enough. Nice looking, too.
Not like me. I bet I'm about the ugliest thing you've ever seen.
One of them. But you have no need to be jealous of Enfield, darling. He's not the sort I bring in here, and I don't think he cares for women the likes of me anyway.
No, he likes pretty little sluts like that thing Ivy.
Ivy is no different from any of us girls.
He's got beautiful Helen at home and he comes here.
Why, Mr. Edward Hyde, perhaps I should be the jealous one. Jealous of the future Mrs. Enfield.
Man, Enfield, I'd just like to... Whose is this?
That's Mr. Enfield's walking.
Has he been here?
Oh, hardly. He left it during his last visit with Ivy. They were going to throw it away, but I said, keep it. He'll be back when he gets tired of that new wife.
Here's an idea. Why don't I just give it to him? Hey, Enfield!
Don't do that! You don't want to hurt me. You know that.
No, I guess I don't.
So I've been reading in the paper about your Dr. Jekyll. It seems he's been campaigning for a nightclub crusades, holding charity luncheons, raising money for medical research, providing free medical care.
Yeah, it's like the better he gets, the worse I get. Like he's making up for all my sins.
Edward, I didn't say anything like that.
I'll tell you one thing about Henry Jekyll. Just about everything he says is a lie. That's what it means to be polite, you know? To say, oh, I hope you do quite well, when you wish they were dead, or that, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and let me guess, everything you've told me is true.
Everything I have told you is true.
You haven't hardly told me anything. You always say, that's my business.
That's because it is my business.
Don't yell at me. I'm not the one you're mad at.
Mad?
Angry.
Angry?
You get angrier every day, it seems.
I've got a lot to be angry about.
Of course you do. Why don't you come back and tell me all?
No. Why don't I just go return this stick?
Oh, for heaven's sakes, how do you think that's gonna go?
I don't know.
How do you think that's gonna go?
Would you go after Enfield?
A respected young lawyer to be? They'll track you down like a fox.
And as for Jekyll, well, you can't hurt him.
Poor Mr. Hyde.
A great big stick and no one get hit with it.
Here's an idea. Why don't I not let Jekyll out ever again?
Right. The famous Henry Jekyll just disappears.
Mightn't they look askance at the mysterious brute living in the laboratory of Henry Jekyll?
Edward, what's the matter? Edward!
The streets of London.
Just behind the house of Henry Jekyll that evening.
Hustle, bustle, into the laboratory of Henry Jekyll. A door. A flower girl.
A passing gentleman. Flowers, sir?
No, thank you, little girl.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Oh, flowers, sir?
Why, don't mind if I do.
Oh, flowers, sir?
No!
I beg your pardon, sir?
Enfield!
Do I know you, sir?
Edward Hyde!
Well, Mr. Hyde, I think you owe this girl an apology.
What's going on here? Are you all right, love?
That man knocked me down.
I suggest you
Sir!
I suggest you all back up before I knock you all down.
Hyde, threats of physical assault are a criminal act. I can call for a constable and have you arrested. I don't care whose friend you are.
Listen, Enfield.
Now you listen, Hyde. Maybe if you offered this girl and her family some monetary restitution, I and this whole street of witnesses wouldn't have to involve the law.
Monetary restitution.
I think I broke my arm.
Hush, dear.
Perhaps they take a chat.
You'll be a fine lawyer, Enfield. I'll be back.
That man's a menace.
He has a scary face, Father.
Make sure your father spends some of this money on your medical care.
Fill your bloody names.
This check is signed Henry Jekyll.
So what if it is?
If the signature on this check is fraudulent, then say that walking stick.
Uncle, did I tell you of the rather strange encounter I had near this door the other day? This door? That's the back door to the laboratory of my friend, Dr. Jekyll. It is? Well, that explains something. You see, the other day I saw a repulsive fellow barreling down the street. Practically killed a young girl.
The study of Dr. Henry Jekyll, 3 days later.
A desk.
A chair, a door, and a door.
Gabriel, come in. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, what is it you wanted to speak to me about?
It's this friend of yours, Mr. Hyde.
Oh, Edward Hyde is no friend of mine.
Truly? Are you aware he broke the arm of a young girl 3 days ago?
Infield told you.
Yes,
That is why Hyde is no longer welcome in this house. I thought he could help me with this thing I'm working on. I knew he was rough, but now that he's hurt someone, he's no longer allowed here.
Do you know he was forging checks?
Oh, that check was no forgery. I signed that check myself and gave Hyde enough to leave and never be seen again.
Well, all right then. My fears seem to be assuaged. However did you fall in with this fellow?
Oh, it's a long story. One I'd rather not repeat, but you can rest assured you will see or hear no more of Edward Hyde.
Have we really seen the last of Edward Hyde?
Yes, I dumped out all the chemicals this morning.
Well, then I guess that closes this chapter.
Shall we?
Of course. Oh, and Henry, there's a gathering in my house tomorrow evening in celebration of Richard and Helen's engagement. Would you care to join us?
I'd love to.
The next night, the party's conclusion. 3 chairs, numerous party guests, and a door.
So, to the children that will be.
To the children that will be.
Have we finally run out of things to toast?
One final libation, if I may.
Oh, Uncle.
Gabriel, it's getting terribly late. Just one more. To my nephew, Richard Enfield. When my sister died, and I was entrusted with your upbringing, I feared I may not perform the task well. For a time, it seemed I did it. But now you should know how proud I am of the decent, respectable young man you have become, and how much I look forward to welcoming Miss O'Neill into our family.
Thank you, Uncle. One last thing, if I may, before everyone goes.
Richard, everyone's exhausted.
Helen, I think you're going to like this. Everyone knows that my past history with the fair sex has been, well, storied to say the least. I've been all over the world and seen many wondrous things, but it was in Scarsdale, New York, of the United States of America, that I met the one woman who truly brings me joy. And in my eyes, there is no other.
Harry.
I'm sorry. I think I'm becoming ill.
Well, then truly the party must come to an end. Let me show you out, everyone.
Helen, you look so lovely tonight. Infield?
Hasty.
Henry, while we're congratulating each other on transformations, let me say how impressed I am with your charitable efforts in the past few weeks.
Thank you.
And I take it you've abandoned this business of dual natures and physical transformations?
Yes, you were right. God only wanted man to do so much.
Precisely. It's good to see you back to your old self. Gentlemen, do you plan on spending the night? Isn't this pleasant? The three musketeers, together again. All for one.
And none for two.
I beg your pardon?
Two, the dualism of nature. Never mind. Good night.
Good night, Henry. Good night.
Your coat, sir.
And I believe you came in with this stick.
Yes, I did.
And what do you bring the stick for, Jekyll?
Well, I was simply going to return it to
But you forgot.
And wasn't that all just a bit difficult to swallow that in my eyes there is no other business?
In his eyes, perhaps not, but what about in his trousers?
Infield's concerns are not my concerns. I'm simply going to return that stick and just
What is happening?
But it's happening without the serum.
Who would have thought it?
I think I'll have a word with Mr. Infield.
Hyde, don't.
Infield!
Hi, dear. Have no worries.
Oh.
This is a friend of Dr. Jekyll's.
Look how he protects her from the frightening boogeyman. What a good husband he'll be.
Hyde, I don't know what you mean.
But if he's such a good husband, how do you suppose his walking stick wound up in a house of horrors?
What?
Huh. Do you suppose that maybe he was there a month ago?
What's he saying, Richard?
I'm saying that your husband's been spending his days with you and his nights in the bed of any dirty little harlot he can find.
That's quite enough. Darling, he's lying, of course.
No, I'm not. And you know I'm not. And Helen, I think you know I'm not too.
Richard?
You bloody...
Richard, no!
Mr. Enfield.
Where to now, Mr. Hyde?
Can't go to Jekyll's, the police will be there any minute.
Besides, Jekyll poured out all of his chemicals.
Sybil's room.
Minutes later,
As before, a bed,
a chair,
a door, and a door.
Edward, you startled me. Where have you been these past few days?
That's my business.
Of course it is. I missed you. For some reason.
Why must the stationery in the whorehouse be that of the Gutenberg Bible?
What are you writing?
That's my business.
What if we put aside business and try your pleasure?
No.
I told you, I don't tolerate that.
Sybil, I need you to do something for me. I need you to take this letter to this address. Do not open it and do not read it, understood?
Edward, I am not some sort of messenger girl.
Do it, Sybil! Please!
I didn't know that word was in your vocabulary. All right, I will.
A chair, a desk, papers.
A lamp.
A lamp.
A lamp.
A lamp.
And a door.
Yes, sir, I received Dr. Jekyll's letter, and I prepared the chemicals.
All of them?
Yes, I had them in my personal supplies. But first, I insist that you answer some questions.
The chemicals first, and then I'll answer whatever you want.
No. Tell me, who are you? Why does Jekyll need these chemicals so badly? Why did he send that woman here at this hour of night, and why have you come to collect them now, when dawn is practically upon us?
Give me the chemicals now!
Very well. Careful of my desk.
Careful of my desk, old fool.
How the devil did Jekyll form an acquaintance with the likes of you anyhow?
You have no idea, do you?
What are you talking about?
Is there any scientific curiosity left in you?
How dare you question my scientific curiosity?
How would you like to see something that would baffle the unbelief of Satan?
What are you talking about?
I could open up new avenues of power and fame and fortune that you can't even dream of.
What are you doing?
Oh, believe me, what you're about to see is best not viewed in full light. You who have denied the power of transcendental medicine for too long. You who have derided your superiors for too long. To your health.
Oh, God. God, what's happening? Where's the blasted...
Hasty, help me.
Henry?
Help me.
Dear God, what have you done, Henry?
Let me rest a moment.
No, Henry. No. Do you know it? Do you realize what you've done?
I have done what I've always talked about doing. I'm a scientist. I sought out scientific possibilities.
You're no longer worthy of the name scientist.
Please don't do anything to agitate me, Hasty. I think that's what triggers the transformations.
You could transform into that thing without an injection?
I wouldn't have thought, but it happened tonight.
Henry!
Please just...
How many times did I tell you? By even considering entering this domain of the soul, you're damning yourself.
I have lived more in this 1 week than you have in your entire life. You were... Please let me just...
Henry?
Let me just sit here and steady my pulse before I do something you regret.
No, Henry. No.
You don't understand, Hasty. Hyde's becoming more violent every day. Tonight he killed someone.
You killed someone?
I didn't kill anyone. Hyde did. Just... I think I should leave.
No, Henry. No, you're staying right here and we're sending for the authorities.
I'm gonna leave. Before anything bad happens.
No, Henry. You cannot come into my house, confess to murder, and expect to simply walk away.
I'm leaving.
No, Henry. No.
Let go. Now. Just... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Henry? I'm sorry.
Hasty.
Poor Dr. Jekyll.
Poor Dr. Lanyon is more like it.
He was one of your best friends, wasn't he?
And oldest. We were boys together.
Maybe he was right. Maybe you never should have entered this domain of the soul.
Of course he was right. You're an even bigger fool than he thought you were.
Shut up! Shut up, the both of you! Why won't you just leave me alone?
All right.
We will. Greetings, Mr. Anderson. Of Dr. Jekyll,
And Mr. Hyde.
Act 2, Scene 1.
The back streets of London.
Behind the home of Henry Jekyll.
The usual bustling throngs are absent today.
All that can be seen are the buildings, the streets,
And to the laboratory of Dr. Jekyll,
a door.
Harry! Harry, it's Gabriel. I need to speak to you.
Gabriel, even if I wanted to, I couldn't.
Please, Dr. Jekyll.
Helen, sweet Helen, please go.
It's urgent, Harry. Urgent!
Go away, Utterson.
That didn't sound like the master, Mr. Utterson.
That was Edward.
It might be Mr. Hyde, sir. I'm not sure how he got in if that's him.
Yes, I think he is. All right, Harry, or Hyde, or whoever you are, I'm coming in.
Are you quite certain you'd like to open that door, Mr. Utterson?
Are you ready to see what's behind it?
Yes, I am.
Really?
You've been thinking a lot about this door lately, haven't you?
Not inordinate. Look, who are you?
Friends of Dr. Jekyll's.
And we'd like to be friends of yours as well.
But first, tell us about this door.
Big, thick, black.
When was the first time you saw it?
I've seen it 1,000 times. Harry's lived here for 30 years.
Yes, but when we really thought about it.
Well, I suppose...
Uncle, did I tell you of a rather strange encounter I had near this door the other day?
This door. That's the back door to the laboratory of my friend, Dr. Jekyll.
It is? Well, that explains something. You see, the other day I saw a repulsive fellow just barreling down the street. He practically killed a young girl. Hyde was the fellow's name, and I knew that, well, I have heard that Dr. Jekyll knew a fellow named Hyde.
I've never heard the name.
Stranger and stranger. You see, I insisted that he remunerate the girl's family for her injuries. He ducked behind the door and emerged with the check.
Yes?
Well, suffice to say, the name on the check was...
I signed that check myself, and I gave Hyde enough to leave and never be seen again.
Well, all right then. My fears seem to be assuaged. However, did you fall in with this fellow?
It's a long story, one I'd rather not repeat. But you can rest assured that you will see or hear no more of Edward Hyde. Shall we?
Of course. Oh, and Henry, there's a gathering at my house tomorrow evening in celebration of Richard and Helen's engagement. Would you care to join us?
I'd love to.
Helen is very fond of you. Richard, too. Hasty has wanted me to tell you how pleased he is with all this charitable work you've been doing.
Precisely. It's good to see you back to your old self. Gentlemen, Do you plan on spending the night? Isn't this pleasant? The three musketeers, together again, all for one.
And none for two.
I beg your pardon?
To the dualism of nature? Never mind. Good night.
Good night, Henry.
Good night.
It's still on his mind.
What? This whole inner evil side business?
Yes. He seems not to be researching it anymore, but he's definitely still obsessed.
Well, if you think there's no scientific foundation...
What troubles me is that there may be some. I reread his articles the other day, and some of those chemicals, in combination with each other, they could have a physically transformative effect. I seriously doubt they could do anything like Henry thinks they could, but...
But he's playing in God's domain, as they say.
As they say, Henry Jekyll will be the death of us yet, Gabriel. Mark me.
Is that the last time you saw Dr. Lanyon?
Alive, anyway.
Yes.
The study of Dr. Hasty Lanyon, the day after his murder.
A desk, 2 chairs, and a door. We thank you for your help, Mr. Utterson. We understand this has been an horrible day for you.
Best friend and your were both killed by this Hyde maniac. Don't worry, sir, we will get him.
Brian, haven't you got any clues to go find?
Right, sir.
So, since you're the executor for the deceased, you're in charge of all of Lanyon's papers, correct?
That's right, Detective.
Well, I need to take a look at some of those to see if they hold any clues to this Hyde fella.
Of course. I'm afraid the files are in a dreadfully disordered state. Hyde absolutely destroyed Hasty's study.
All right. We'll make do with what we've got. Thank you, sir, and good luck with everything.
Sir.
Sir.
Richard. Uncle, Are the police gone?
Yes, but we mustn't disturb the room. This is the scene of a crime.
Of course, Uncle. How are you?
As well as could be expected, under the circumstances.
Of course. I'm dreadfully sorry. I know how close you and Dr. Lanyon were.
Yes. Well, why have you come, Richard?
Well, I didn't want to say this around the police. I wasn't completely honest with them when they questioned me about last night.
That's a bad habit for a lawyer, Richard.
I told them that Hyde came in yelling incoherently and just attacked me. But I may be about to shock you.
I have seen 2 dead bodies already, Richard. I'm as shocked as I'll be.
Hyde came in and accused me of having recently visited a house of ill repute.
Oh, Richard, did you?
Yes,
Richard,
I did.
Richard.
But Uncle, Hyde couldn't have known. I've never seen him there. But I have seen Dr. Jekyll.
Harry Jekyll.
Yes, but you must understand. He wasn't there under his own name. He told everyone his name was Edward Hyde.
He claimed to be Hyde.
Yes, he said he borrowed the name from a friend. It seemed false enough. I just assumed he was shamming. But then I met Edward Hyde on the street.
How the devil did poor Harry Jekyll get... There's only one way to sort this out. Come, we're going to Dr. Jekyll's.
Presently, the house of Dr. Henry Jekyll, a sitting room, a well-appointed room with 3 chairs and a door.
Mr. Richard Enfield, here to see you, sir.
Send them in.
Harry? Harry, you look awful.
Hasty's death has affected me.
Uncle, maybe we
No.
should go.
I want some answers before the police come banging down the door for them.
They've already been here. I told them I don't know where Hyde is, and I don't.
You told me you had seen the last of him. You told me he was no longer a part of your life.
I thought he was. Believe me, his reappearance is just as shocking to me as it is you.
Doctor, there's something I need to tell you that you probably don't know. It concerns our coincidental visits to, you know. I'm afraid I violated your trust by telling my uncle.
Such concerns of reputation no longer concern me.
Well, good. It seems as if the real reason that Edward Hyde broke in that night was to tell Helen of my indiscretion.
That's exactly why. He didn't approve.
I beg your pardon.
You didn't tell him yourself, did you?
No, of course not. Maybe one of the women told him. I hear he was close with that Sybil woman.
So she told him?
I didn't say that.
Dr. Jekyll, my beloved Helen doesn't trust me anymore. Whoever's
Richard,
responsible
this
for
is
this
not
will
the
be made
time.
to pay.
When you do go question the ladies, don't hurt Sybil. If Hyde ever found out you did anything to her, he'd just...
Harry?
Excuse me.
Harry! What the devil is wrong with poor Harry?
I couldn't guess, but I know what I must do now.
Richard, we came here to track down Hasty's murderer, not settle some personal vendetta about your pride.
Uncle, I understand what you're saying, and yes, justice will be served. But before the constabulary get their hooks into Hyde, he's gonna taste my fist. Good day.
Richard!
What happened next?
I don't know. Only what I was told later.
And Enfield went to go.
He went to find Sybil.
The room of Sybil, 1 hour later.
Again, a bed, a chair, a cane, a door,
And a door.
Sybil!
Mr. Enfield?
You know who I am.
Well, I think I've seen you in the front room once or twice,
You knew me well enough to tell Edward Hyde that I'd been here.
Sir, this place respects the confidentiality of its clients.
You know a lot of big words for a whore. Where is he? Where's Hyde?
Sir, I think we'd better leave.
I'm not leaving until you tell me where he is. He killed 2 people last night.
He did what?
I think you better tell me everything you know about him.
Listen, Enfield, go. Right now, right away.
Tell me where he is.
Dear God, Enfield, just...
Is that my walking stick?
So, that's where I left that.
Hi.
Sybil, I'm disappointed in you. I told you if Enfield came, I wanted to speak with him.
2 people? You took 2 lives last night.
You have no idea how exhilarating it is to take another's life. To just beat a man till he stops breathing. To snap their bones in half like they're twigs. Oh, hearing Lanion's bones crack and knowing no words would bellow forth from his lips. Ah, it was music to my ears.
You disgusting son of a...
What I did is no more disgusting than breaking a young girl's heart.
That's it, Hyde. I'm taking you to the police.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
A gun! Oh no! A gun!
This isn't a joke. Come on, the game's over.
Get out of here! Run!
Sybil, I think you're thinking of someone else. I don't run.
Edward, now is your chance to run.
Enfield, Hyma, you've got to stop leaving. Must have been made in China. I don't run, Sybil.
Get on with it then.
Let's settle this like men, Enfield. Stand up.
All right, Hyde, like man.
Sybil, I think you better leave. Go!
What happened next?
I don't know. That's all I was told.
Where were you?
I was at home, looking over Hasty's papers.
The home of Gabriel John Utterson.
Later that night.
Chairs, a desk, papers, a window, and a door.
Mr. Utterson.
Helen, please, call me Uncle now.
Uncle, I spoke with the officer guarding the door. He said Hyde was spotted in Soho, but they couldn't catch him.
With the fog out here tonight, anyone could disappear. I see nothing here connecting Hasty with Hyde. Jekyll must be the key, but he's nowhere to be found.
I thought you were supposed to be settling Dr. Lanion's estate, not solving a mystery.
Yes, well, Henry's not the only one allowed some mystery in his life. God, what's the matter with him? How can I joke with Hasty dead?
He won't mind now. Is there any word from Richard?
No, not yet. We need to be worried.
Richard, yo ho ho! I thought you might want that back.
Hi, how did you get in here?
You shouldn't have put such a junior constable guarding the back door. He never saw me coming.
There are police everywhere. All I have to do is shout.
Don't! I'm pretty sure they had young Helen cry.
Police!
See, there they are now. Someday, you'll realize how much better off you were without this servant. Oh. No,
What do you want, Hyde?
Don't worry, Utterson. I'm not going to kill you. You can't really take a life that's never lived.
What's all this then? We've had reports of gunshots.
Hyde just drove out that window.
Ugh! Brian! Who's this?
It's my nephew, Richard Enfield.
He's been dead for hours.
I know. Hyde must have...
No sign of Hyde, but one of the men says they did see that Jekyll fellow walking away.
Jekyll.
But Hyde just vanished?
But how is that possible?
How is that possible?
And why would Jekyll be near here? And why wouldn't he come and stop by?
Perhaps they're working together.
No, Dr. Jekyll's the most law-abiding, life-preserving man in London.
There had to be an answer. Somewhere.
But no word from Jekyll?
No, he told the police whoever they saw that night. It wasn't him, that he hasn't been out all night.
But no sign of Hyde.
Not in a week. No.
1 week later.
Still the Utterson household.
Same chairs?
Same door.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Uncle. Well, I suppose you won't be my uncle anymore.
My dear, I will always consider. How are you, Helen?
Better. Not well, but better.
I received word today. The police have all but broken off the search. They're sure Hyde has fled the country by now.
Don't you think so, too?
No. Somehow I think he's somewhere very close.
Did they ever find that woman Richard went to see?
No. The police found her place of business deserted. I suppose they sensed danger was afoot.
Of course.
Henry Jekyll is the key. The key to all of this. But he's locked himself up in his laboratory. I spoke with him briefly through the door. All he'll say is Hyde worked for him for a short time and then left abruptly.
Well, did he say how they met?
He muttered something about a correspondence. None of the letters remain, of course. I've gathered every correspondence Hasty ever had with Henry. Mountains of them, yellowed with age. Mostly scientific debate and schemes dating back to our university days. I couldn't understand them for the life of me. All the recent letters have Henry arguing that this dual personality nature is valid. No mention of Hyde.
Well, why would Dr. Lanyon have had to have known anything beforehand? Didn't Hyde just break in?
No. The police say there was no sign of forced entry. Hasty's servants let no one in that night. It's as if Hasty welcomed Hyde into his home himself. He must have been expecting him if he opened the door at 4 in the morning. Jekyll says he has no idea what brought Hyde to Lanion's.
He knows more than he's telling us.
I'm sure of it. But as his lawyer and his friend, I can't do anything to throw suspicion on him, even though the reason for suspicion is tremendous. I'm left with the task of solving this case myself, and I scarcely know where to begin.
It's just as well. I want to see Hyde brought to justice, but I'm just ready for this to be over.
It won't be over until Hyde is brought to justice.
Why is this so important?
Do you remember what he said to me? That I'd never lived my life. He was right. All my adult life, I've looked at the law and lawbreakers in an abstract sense. Hypothetical cases, contractual disputes. But this is happening here and now, and I'm in the middle of it. Now I can't go through legal channels for fear of harming poor Harry. I couldn't stand it if I lost both my dearest friends. And Richard.
Excuse me, sir. There's a lady here to see you. You could call her that.
Show her in.
Are you Mr. Anderson?
Yes, and you.
I'm called Sybil. I know
The
who you
police are looking for you.
I know. I couldn't go to them. I wanted to speak with you about something. I'm a friend of Edward Hyde's.
Hyde has
Have you
no
seen
friend.
him?
No, I haven't seen him, and no, he isn't as bad as all that. He wasn't, anyway. But I did see him the night that Dr. Lanyon was killed. He made me deliver a letter to the doctor.
What sort of letter?
He told me not to read it. He insisted, but I did glance at it. It looked like some sort of shopping list for chemicals, but what I did notice is he didn't sign it as Edward Hyde. He signed it as Henry Jekyll.
Is it one of these letters? Here.
Oh, I don't know. They all look the same. They're all in the same hand. No, wait, here it is.
Yes. I recall noticing this. The writing was a bit hurried, but it was Harry's. There was no date, but the paper seemed so old.
It's all we had at the house.
I assumed it was some university missive about a forgotten chemistry class. You say Hyde wrote this.
I saw him do it.
This is Harry Jekyll's hand, down to a T. I should know. I've seen more of his handwriting than anyone.
But it's a forgery.
It's the best one I've seen. This is simply...
How could two men have identical handwriting?
Why, they'd have to be. No.
Uncle? Mr. Utterson?
I'm sorry. I was lost in thought. So, this letter has Henry asking Hasty to prepare some chemicals for him, and that someone would pick them up before sunrise. That someone must have been Hyde.
May I see? These are the same chemicals in Dr. Jekyll's article.
So what does this mean? Is Hyde forging Henry's signature to conduct forbidden experiments based on his research? Or...
No, that's not possible.
Then again.
No, Lanyon said it wasn't scientifically possible.
But Dr. Jekyll seemed to think. Excuse us, Mr. Anderson.
Cool. And,
Valerie, sir.
ladies, these are some of Dr. Jekyll's staff. What brings you here?
Oh, we're terribly worried about the master, sir.
He's locked himself in his laboratory. He's had us nail up boards against it and told us not to let him out for a month. No matter what he says or how he pleads.
But sometimes we just hear the most awful noises coming from in there. A voice that ain't his, and the most horrible laugh.
Horrible laugh.
It sounds almost as if it's that Mr. Hyde the police have been looking for. We thought about going to them.
No,
but
you were right. We have to go now. Everyone.
Which brings us back to where we started this act.
The back streets of London.
Behind the home of Henry Jekyll.
The usual bustling throngs are absent today.
All that can be seen are the buildings, the streets.
And to the laboratory of Dr. Jekyll,
A door.
Henry! Henry, it's Gabriel. I need to speak to you.
Even if I wanted to, I couldn't.
Please, Dr. Jekyll.
Helen? Sweet Helen, please go.
It's urgent, Harry. Urgent!
Go away, Utterson!
That didn't sound like the master, Mr. Utterson.
That was Edward.
It might be Mr. Hyde, sir. I'm not sure how he got in there, but that's him.
Yes, I think he is. All right, Harry or Hyde or whoever you are, I'm coming in.
So let me ask you again, Mr. Utterson. Are you quite certain you want to chop down that door?
Do you really want to see what's behind it? It may not be what you think it is.
But what if it is?
I have to help Harry.
What if you can't help him?
What if it's not Henry Jekyll behind that door?
But what if it is?
Whatever's behind that door will change your life, change your universe, forever.
My universe is already changed.
Then I guess you would better open the door. Final scene.
The laboratory of Dr. Henry Jekyll. The former clutter of scientific books and objects is now a mess of disorder.
Books are torn open, vials are smashed,
2 chairs
and an open space.
where there used to be a door.
Harry? Harry!
Gabriel. Gabriel's here and it is the end.
Harry, what happened?
Is Edward Hyde here?
No. But he's never far behind.
Where is he? Are we in danger?
Helen? Sweet Helen, come.
Dr. Jekyll?
Is this the face that launched it? Sweet Helen, make me immortal with a kiss.
Dr. Jekyll.
You shouldn't have done that.
Of course, Dr. Jekyll, what?
Helen, I killed Infield.
What?
And Lanyon, and the butler, and...
Where's Edward?
Harry, is it true? Are you...
Yes. Yes, upon occasion I'm Edward Hyde.
Oh, God.
But, Harry, how? How is this possible?
If you must know how, it's all in my journals. Every measurement, every mixture, it's all there. Helen can tell you it. If you want to know what I've done, it's all there as well, though Sybil can tell you that.
You mean you were right? Those chemicals, they can...
Yes. Yes, though I don't seem to need them anymore. Should I become agitated or angry, the chemicals are all that will turn me back. I fear one more injection and the transformation will be permanent.
So, Hyde, carry the syringe and the stuff. The night you killed Richard.
So he can become you again and fool the police.
Yes. To avoid prison, he became me, which is a prison to him.
Harry, what have you been doing here?
I thought that in a month's time I could find a cure, and if not, I could bring about my own demise. But now I know a cure is impossible, and I'm too much a coward to just kill
Harry, come with me. We'll go to the police. You'll be watched and cared for.
The police won't be any use.
Sybil, please. Harry, at least if you're in prison and Hyde returns, you won't be able to hurt anyone. You'll be safe.
There'll be no calling the police while I'm here. I am not okay with it. No, it's not happening. This
Quiet! Okay. Let me get my coat. Thank you.
Of course.
How could he? How is this possible?
More things on heaven and earth, dear. What? I know how to read, you know.
Harry, we'll get through this. I won't let you hang. Musketeers for life, remember? All for one, one for all.
Did you enjoy unraveling our little mystery, Utterson? Did you enjoy playing Sherlock Holmes? Now I could kill you, now that you've had a taste of life, and taking yours would be so sublime.
Do what you will, but don't harm the ladies.
Oh, chivalry won't do you any good. I have bullets for them, too.
Helen!
Don't even try to think it overpower me. 2 women and a middle-aged lawyer? What are you, the 3 heroes of London town?
Edward, you aren't going to kill me, are you?
Why should I spare you? You betrayed me!
Don't be absurd. I was worried about you, and I thought they could help me find you, and I knew you'd escape whatever they tried, but I had to know if you were all right.
Sybil, are you flattering me?
No, Edward, I love you. I told you, I've got a soft spot for the mystic type.
So, what now? You kill us, turn back to Jekyll, and steal away somewhere?
What a dastardly criminal mind you have, Utterson. Too bad we won't find the Edward Hyde in you. No. Henry Jekyll dies with you, and he'll be just a distant memory. One more injection, and I'm here for good.
Are you sure?
Quite sure of it. My mind is much more clear than Jekyll's, and he predicted it.
Go ahead then. Set down the pistol and make up a syringe.
How bloody stupid do you think I am? Sybil, Helen. Yes. Helen, make Mr. Hyde some formula.
Why on earth would I?
Because you've always wanted to play Little Miss Chemist, haven't you?
No.
Now here's your chance.
No!
Do it!
Here, dear, you better do as he says.
Sybil, watch her.
Of course, Edward.
Suppose you'll take Sybil with you now.
I suppose so. She's shown her loyalty.
Still, once Helen and I are dead, what will you do to escape capture now?
Oh, the same way I always have.
With strength and purity of character.
Now I remember why Jekyll liked you so much. Too bad we won't find Edward Hyde in you.
Terrible pity that, yes.
Wait. Yes, we will. Helen, Sybil, make it a double. I think you like things on this side. All those little rules, those little limitations you put on yourself, they don't seem to matter anymore.
You're mad, Hyde.
Am I mad? Making love to those I love and killing those I hate. Is that madness? Or is that just doing away with the formalities?
Here you are, Mr. Hyde.
Sybil,
She followed the recipe exactly.
think about it, Utterson. We can go anywhere, do anything. We can take Sybil and Helen with us. Immortal with a kiss.
Dr. Jekyll, no.
Edward, what's wrong?
I think Jekyll doesn't want me to hurt you. Consider yourself complimented. Looks like I'll go first. I do. Sybil, you knew.
Potassium, 30 parts per 100.
I thought you.
No, Edward.
He thought you loved him. A lot of people think I love him.
You did the right thing, Sybil.
Edward?
Harry!
Dr. Jekyll,
Helen, Sybil, Gabriel. Thank you.
What the bloody hell is going on in here? We heard gunshots.
And we've had reports of some madman chopping down a door.
What happened to this poor bastard?
Don't I know?
I don't know. Are you the misfit type?
Roy, jeez!
All right, she's a friend of mine.
Let them go. I assure you, they're quite innocent. This man took his own life.
All right, well, you'll need to come with us. We have a lot of questions.
Of course.
Come then, we'll get you a surgeon.
What are you doing?
Cleaning up, Dr. Anderson.
It's what we do.
Somebody has to.
But,
What should we do with this?
Oh, look. It's Dr. Jekyll's formula for the serum.
throw it out!
Are you sure you want to, sir? Never know when you come in useful. Maybe it'll come in handy.
Nonsense. I'm not a scientist.
No, but you have always said you would follow a recipe.